Thank you for joining the Transform Impossible podcast. The field of robotics is growing rapidly. There are companies such as Boston Dynamics, Hanson Robotics, universities such as Berkeley Lab, and so many others who are creating some fantastic robots. Watching the Boston Dynamics New Year dance video, the general notion of the public is that these robots can do these magical movements by themselves, but that's far from the truth, because most of these robots are manually controlled at the back end by a human. And that's the reason you get these beautiful choreography, which you think is actually an intelligent robot doing. So I think a robot which can have two-way interaction and reason is quite far away. But this company out of China, which is really doing some exceptional work. There's this Boston Dynamics who's got Spot Mini robot, which retails somewhere around $75,000. And then there's Unitree Robotics, which is selling for around $10,000. So is this the democratization of robotics? So Eric, thank you for joining the Transform Impossible podcast. So would you like to start with a small introduction of yourself and the company?
Dear everyone, this is Eric from Unitree Robotics. I would like to have a short introduction of our company and our product. Unitree Robotics is established in 2016. Sir, till now we have nearly about 30 years. And behind me we have Laikago, Laikago Pro, Aliengo, and A1. For the Laikago, it is our first generation. It has been in the market for some years. In the market at present, we mainly sell these two robots, Aliengo and A1. You can see our Aliengo, it is longer and higher than A1, right? So for our Aliengo, it can climb the stairs, the normal stairs, very easy. Okay, and also for our Aliengo, you can see if you want to add some sensors or add some equipment on the top of our robot, it also works. This is our robot Aliengo. You can see we have some mounting rails. So if you want to add some equipment or sensors on the top of our robot, it is very easy. If you want to take our robot for research, it is very easy. We have the abundant interface for you to make the second grade element. For our A1, it also have rich interface like USB, HDMI, and also input voltage and output voltage. Also, we have the serial port. So for our robot, if you want to do the research, A1 and Aliengo are the best choice. I would like to have a short demonstration of our robot. Firstly, I want to introduce our A1. We let our dog wear some clothes you can imagine. And also, for our robot, this is our battery. And for our battery, it is very easy to remove and also very easy to install. Okay, then I will power on our robot. And this is our remote control unit. Then I shall also power on. Okay, it's already in the sport mode. So you can see it is at sport mode. And I can change it into quick run, like this one. So its max speed is 3.3 meters per second. As you can imagine, it is just like the adults. They have the slow run, and our robot can run together with the adults. Okay, and also for our robot, we have good balance. I hold one of its legs. It can also keep the balance. When I kick it, it can also keep the balance. And when I lift it, put it down, it can also keep the balance, right? And also, when I put myself on the top of the robot, it can also work. So you can imagine if you add some sensors or equipment on the top of our robot can also work. Okay, our robot to come across some low place, just like this one. Okay, and then it will come across very easy, and also can turn around, backward, forward, very easy. Okay, and then I can adjust its speed. Okay, and also for our robot, when it falls down, it can get up by itself. It gets up by itself. Okay, and also for our robot, we have some amazing performance. Like our robot can stand by two legs. It means, how are you? Greetings. Also, and for our robots, it can dance. This is our big robot, Aliengo. Okay, so you can see our Aliengo is higher and longer than A1. Okay, so now I will take our Aliengo to climb the stairs. Okay, so this is the short demonstration of our robots.
So Eric, thank you for showing the demonstration. All the models are really looking good, and the things that it can do, the weight it can take, the speed. I would like to get a little bit more details about the battery, because just recently, Boston Dynamics, the Spot Mini robot, was acquired by the French military.
Yeah.
And they were doing some simulation, some training. And in the middle of the training, the battery went dead and the robot fell down. So what's the battery capability of the Unitree Robotics?
Okay, firstly, and just you have mentioned like Spot, they have the charging dock when their battery is at a low power, and they can go back to the charging dock. At present, for our robot, we don't have the charging dock. Maybe in future we will have the charging power or the charging dock. Now for our battery, we use the charger to charge our battery. And for our battery, if it has low power, you can change it very easy, just as what I did. I can use one hand within 5 seconds, then I can change the battery. So it is very easy.
Boston Dynamics, the problem over there was obviously they spent huge money in R&D in developing some of the best robots that we have seen, but somehow the use cases were not there. And that's the reason, if you see, there has been changes. Google acquired them, and then it went to SoftBank, and now Hyundai has taken over, because the main problem was, I guess, they were trying to do something which was too futuristic with no present day use cases. Boston Robotics, the mini robotics is there, which is 75,000, and compared to what you have, it's a huge difference. So you have a winner over there when it comes to the price point. So what has been the sales so far, and could you give some use cases?
Thank you for your question. Firstly, for the sales, maybe it is our company secret. I cannot give you I cannot give you the exact number. But for us, we in the world for last year, we have sold many units to our client to the world. Like we have some clients, we have many clients from the USA, Europe, Japan, Korea, and UK, something like that. We have many clients, and we have good reputations from them, and they give us very good feedback on our robots, and we love our robots very much. And also for the use case for our robots, firstly, just I have said, for our robots, you can take our robot as a hardware mobile platform. Then you can do the research and do the second development on our robots. Okay, and secondly, for our robots, maybe some companies, they want to take our robots to go some dangerous place. Maybe the people cannot go, but the robot can go, and they want our robot to do some inspection or maybe do some detections for them. But they have to add some sensors or add some equipment on top of our robot. They have to make the integrations on our robots. So this is also some use cases.
Could you like give me a brief overview on what goes behind in making the Unitree Laikago robot? Maybe the mechanical engineering and the AI architecture that's gone behind in building the Unitree robotics.
Okay, firstly for us, for Unitree Robotics, we mainly focus for the hardware. We have to focus on the motion performance for its motion control, for something like that. We have to do a very platform, with very perfect platform for our clients, and then they can add their sensors or equipment on the top of our robots. So we are glad to be the hardware platform, a mobile hardware platform. Then our client can add their idea or add their system or add their sensors on top of our robots. Then we do the integrations for their end users.
Could you be a little bit more specific on maybe, like I see that, in for the front side, you have maybe like a depth sensing camera, which is there. What are the other frameworks that goes behind the robotics?
Now for our robots, we have the depth camera in front of our robots. Maybe in future, we will add some sensors like ultrasound sensors, or maybe like the LiDAR. Now we also have our robot with the LiDAR. And for maybe in future, we will have the ultrasound sensors, or maybe we will add the speakers, or maybe we will add the arms. Everything is possible. This is our plan. But now, I cannot share too much to you.
Not a problem. The Boston Dynamics. I mean, I keep on coming to the Boston Dynamics because I think they are the only ones who have created something which is really, really fantastic. Just the newer dance video was phenomenal. There were these bunch of robotics that was dancing, and seeing that, the world largely believes that that's completely automated. So people don't really know that how much manual choreography is required to make those robots function. When you see the Hanson Robotics that built Sophia, which has got I think a citizenship in Kuwait. So people think that that's an intelligent robot and will be able to interact exactly like a human being, but that's far away from the truth because most of these robots are being remote controlled. Now, I think just recently, Berkeley Labs, they have a bipedal robot called Cassie. And with Cassie, what they did was they made it train on a simulation on a virtual platform using a reinforcement learning framework where the robot was trying to learn how to walk. And then finally, it actually was able to emulate whatever it learned from the virtual simulation. And I think it had to go through a twin simulation to do that. And then it could actually recreate, at least the basic walking. So we are quite far from an automated robot. But from your point of view, from Unitree Robotics point of view, when do you think we will have maybe not a completely automated robot, but when will we have like a not a teleoperated but an automated robot?
We have many clients from universities. We work together to have a better how to have a better function and have a better performance of our robot to help people. Or maybe now most of our robots we use the remote control to by the menu, and maybe in future for our robots it can go directly by itself. But this is what we work together with our clients, with our partners. So I believe in future our robot can go to some place by itself to do some to do some motion or maybe to do some things to help people. I believe in future.
Right. Yeah. So I think people around the world are doing some really great research work on driving the future of automated robot. I mean, we could definitely speculate on a timeline, but yeah, it could just be a speculation. But yes, the acceleration of technology, the growth of technology, and and even artificial intelligence, I think will play a huge role for us to have a robot which could be completely automated quite soon. I remember in Japan, the nuclear radiation because of the earthquake which happened, they sent out these robots, but their batteries burnt down, terribly. So when do you see robots actually moving to fields such as healthcare, teaching, and creating deeper impact for businesses and consumers?
Yes, for the robot to do the mission by itself. This is what we at the robotic companies hope. But this is the time. Maybe I believe after besides our mutual cooperation, maybe it will come true by in the near future. But I cannot give you the active time.
The post that you guys had put out on Twitter, the Star Wars thing, bunch of robots together. Could you talk a little bit more about that? What's the current numbers of robots which are being manufactured in your factories? And what are the teleoperation capabilities of your robot? You said that, in dangerous conditions, you could send your robot to get some information. Has your robot been put in a scenario like that where there's a dangerous situation and a Unitree Robotics has created some solutions which was really critical and useful?
Firstly, we work together with our partners and we work together to offer the best solutions for our clients, for our end users, for the industry users. And this is what we work for and what we hope. So this is just what we are. So this is just what we want, and this is our wish. So for the industry users and for the cases, maybe I cannot share too much.
India has some really good robotic startups. And are you looking at either partnering with engineers over here, collaborating and creating opportunities? And do you have plans to launch your product here in India? Do you have distributors? Are you talking to someone?
Firstly, we are glad to work together with every engineer and every partners around the world. So we are also welcome our Indian partners to work together with us.
What comes next for Unitree? Is there anything in the pipeline that you would like to share?
Okay, so for our robots in future, every year we hope we have maybe some make better and better robots for our clients, and we can maybe now the price maybe a little high for some clients. We hope in future everyone can have our robots, and maybe our robot can go into the every home, and then the child will have our robots, and the elder person will have our robots, and maybe our robot can be their partners, or maybe or their companions, and then we can work and we can live together with our robots.
When you said live together with the robots, that obviously is something which at this point in time sounds a little bit scary, because I think because of Hollywood movies, because Hollywood movies has painted this picture of a doomsday scenario where, there are robots gets intelligent and that becomes a reason for existential threat, So yes, I think there has to be maybe a global body which comes together and talks about the transformational capabilities of these robots for each and every industries once it kinds of matures, and the things that it can do. Because you mentioned how, in dangerous scenarios, this robot could actually save lives, because then you don't really need to send humans. You can send these robots, make sure that no one gets hurt. But then there's this other scenario. If nations starts militarizing it, then that's a very dangerous zone that we are getting in. And I hope that companies such as yourself collaborates with everyone, because I guess that's the only way we can create a better future, a future like you mentioned, that everybody can have a robot. There could be a robot in a house doing things and making life better. There comes a notion of existential threat which a robot can create. So I hope, a human and robot can coexist beautifully, where we can learn and grow. And I hope that future really happens.
Robot is not a threat to us. Robot is our friend.
It can be a friend if we all come together. Yeah. Because if it gets into a fringe element, a certain section of people, it can also be used for bad. But I hope that we create a future which is a collaborative future and create something for the better of the human race. So thank you for being part of the Transform Impossible podcast. And to my listeners, if you like what you see in here, then please press the subscribe button. Until next time, see you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Eric.